Hello, my soccer universe. This is Roland, and welcome to Football Talk. Yes, I'm the same guy who does my soccer universe, and I have decided to start a podcast. Finally, I want to say. But why do I start a podcast suddenly out of the blue? Well, I've been doing my soccer universe for almost 10 years. I started 10 years ago, but there was about a 3-year break after the birth of my daughter, moving back to Linz, starting a new job, blah, 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 blah. There were more things to do than having a YouTube channel. But throughout the existence, I have been talking about jerseys, but also have been talking a lot about matches that I'm watching. I'm watching a ton of matches. And at the beginning, this was rather sustainable. I just went out, I recorded myself, driving to work and so on. If you've been someone that was with me from the first minute, you have seen those videos. And it was rather informal and fun. But the more and the longer I did it, especially starting Corona, I wanted to have more structure and I wanted to have it nicer and so on. And I wanted to build a channel where I talk on one side about jerseys, my big passion in collecting, as you can see already in the background, all set up for the big Club World Cup final tonight. But I also wanted to talk about the matches that I have watched. And that became more and more the focus of my channel, even though I wanted to keep it on jerseys. And especially in the last season, I became an editing fanatic, because you may have realized I'm not having the smoothest of speeches. Sometimes I get stuck and so on. And I started to edit out every little detail, and editing took about 3 times as long as shooting the video. When before it was, yes, I shot the video, I just watched once over it, upload, that was it. And I want to return to that. However, why do I start it as a podcast? A, I want to keep the conversational tone that I had in my earlier videos. B, I want to actually have now a dedicated channel, My Soccer Universe, on jerseys by itself, and then have a separate one where I talk about the leagues. And this is where I want to start the journey. So, if you're subscribing to My Soccer Universe, the Football Talk, you can expect the same thing that I've been doing for a long time, maybe in a much more relaxed format where I'm just sitting here in my office, or maybe in my car, maybe I'm on a walk and so on, and I record myself talking about the games that I've watched and the observations that I had, without having this heavy editing that I had in there, maybe not having as many tables in there, although I might drop the occasional table here and there if you watch this on YouTube, but I want to keep this on talking about football. What will I be talking about? Well, first and foremost, the matches that I'm watching. That is Austrian Bundesliga with a heavy focus on my favorite team, LASK. Serie A, of course, my favorite league overall. Also focus on Milan, but also talk about larger trends. But that's not the only things I'm watching. I'm focusing on most of the other big leagues as well. I mean, there's always the Premier League, La Liga, the German Bundesliga in there. I always have an eye always on France, the Netherlands and Portugal. And of course, how can I forget, for instance, about the Champions League, the Europa League, and of course the Conference League, where I don't think there are many podcasts out there that talk about these competitions. So I want to keep that, of course. National teams, whenever there's the Euros and the World Cup and so on, that's also gonna be a heavy focus there. It's basically whenever there's something happening that is in my soccer universe, hence the title, that I'm interested in, and I'm interested in a whole lot of things, I'm likely to talk about it. So that's the big competitions, especially in Europe, and of course whenever something happens on the international stage. Now, format wise, I want to keep it basically whenever I feel I want to talk or I need to talk about something. Yes, it might be regular during the weekend or after the weekend, when there's really big things coming on. I can very well see that after every Champions League match day and Europa League match day, I will record something. So there might be more than one video per week. I can very well imagine 2 or 3 videos per week, but I don't want editing to become the big focus. So this will be me talking, and maybe down the road I'll talk with somebody else as well. We have to see how it develops. It's gonna be a very interesting ride. That much is for certain. I'm actually relieving myself from a whole lot of pressure by just having it much more informal and more conversational. And yes, I will mess up speech-wise. That's something that I have to conquer, some fear. I hope you're in it for this journey. My first episode will drop on Monday. I will talk, of course, about the first final of the FIFA Club World Cup, a competition that actually picked me up as I went along. I was about to ignore it. I just couldn't, and it actually got exciting. So it picked me up, and I will talk my thoughts on the FIFA Club World Cup itself, but mainly what I thought about the final, where of course PSG, who are a team that I'm again finding tons of sympathy for, are the big favorites, but maybe we see an outsider winning, like another team that I used to like in the 90s, which is Chelsea. 90s me would be loving this final. That much is for certain. So yeah, that's it from Football Talk today. If you're enjoying the show, you can always follow me on YouTube or on whatever platform you've been listening. Until the next time, stay safe and keep watching the beautiful game. Bye!